Sports coaches are doubling their income and cutting their working hours in half by implementing this one simple system. 2 years ago, I watched Drew coach baseball for 60+ hours a week, running from field to field, missing family dinners, and barely clearing $4,000 a month. Today, Drew makes over $20,000 a month working half the hours he used to. And he's just one of over 200 coaches across every sport imaginable that I've helped double, triple, or even 4x their income while working less hours by implementing the hybrid coaching model. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to transform your business from financially stressful to financially abundant, all while having more time for the things and people that you love. And you might be wondering what the hybrid coaching model even is, and it's really quite simple. You see your athletes in person once per week, and the other 6 days per week, typically you have no communication with them. With the hybrid coaching model, all we're doing is we're adding an online component that allows you to communicate with your athletes every single day and provide them the guidance and structure that they need to actually achieve their fullest potential as an athlete. So, for example, you see your athlete every single Monday for your regular 1 hour in-person session. And you shouldn't stop doing that. The difference between the hybrid model and what you're currently doing right now is that the other 6 days of the week, they will have a customized plan specifically for them. That way they can attack their deficiencies and improve their strengths to become the best versions of themselves. Most sports coaches think that they can only train athletes in person and see their athletes in person in order to build a connection. But with the hybrid coaching model, you actually can get better results and develop a better relationship with your athletes, and here's why. So when you're communicating with somebody every single day, you're going to develop a much more close relationship with that person. For example, most sports coaches will see their athlete 1 time per week in person and then have zero communication with that athlete outside of trying to schedule their next session. And so with the hybrid coaching model, what you're able to do is get a look into how the athlete is feeling every single day, and that way you can help them correct course in the day-to-day, as well as understanding how they're actually feeling, thinking, and performing when it matters most during the game. As you develop a better understanding of how that athlete is feeling in the day-to-day, you're going to be able to relate to them much more, making your in-person sessions with that athlete that much more valuable. A lot of people think that parents won't pay more money for the hybrid coaching model, but let's break down the math to show exactly the value and the reasoning behind a higher price point of a hybrid program. Most in-person sports coaches will cap out somewhere around $7,000 a month, assuming they have 20 athletes a week and charge somewhere between $75 and $100 an hour. Now, that is assuming no cancellations or no-shows or reschedules, or your athletes go out of town, or they want to try out somebody else, or a million different reasons as to why an athlete is not going to come consistently week over week over week. So that comes out to about $350 per month per athlete. And if you're lucky, you're getting that, but realistically, you're probably nowhere close. Now, what we see when coaches transition to the hybrid model is getting anywhere from $400 a month to over $650 per month per athlete. And look, I know what you're probably thinking, $650 per month per athlete. You probably don't believe anything that I'm saying right now. But the reality is that there are coaches across the country providing so much value that parents are actually thanking their coaches for creating this hybrid program. And the reason why is because for the first time in this athlete's life, they have a coach who is accessible to them 7 days a week. They have a daily development program, and not to mention somebody who is going to hold them accountable to that daily development program. And look, if you're training athletes who aren't that serious, then the reality is they're probably not going to pay $650 per month. But if you work with athletes who are actually serious about their development and want to get the most out of their athletic career, then they're going to pay more money for more access, more value, and at the end of the day, what people really pay for, results. At the end of the day, parents are going to pay for more results. And the more results that you can deliver to your athletes, the more money that they're going to be willing to pay. And because you now have an entire development program, more results are pretty much guaranteed at that. Another benefit of the hybrid model is that you can actually take on more athletes. And I know this might sound crazy because whenever you hear more athletes, you immediately probably wonder, how many hours is that going to take me? And the beautiful part of the hybrid model is that you can actually retain athletes who can't see you as frequently and still get more money per month per athlete. Let's say an athlete comes to you twice per month and it's a little bit sporadic. One month they'll come to you the first week, then the last week, the next month they're coming the second and third week, and it's all over the place. What the hybrid model allows you to do is give them 2 sessions per month in person, and then you can create that program for them every other day of the week. So now you're constantly helping them out and delivering them value, which means that they're going to constantly keep paying you over the longer term. And then as that athlete continues to develop, and let's say they go on a trip, then you don't necessarily have to continue to give that athlete, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times a month in-person sessions. You can then start to add more athletes to that roster and actually see each individual athlete less frequently because your program is so good, and you now have a way to document the information that is in your brain. So you don't actually have to be there in person helping your athlete in that moment. So like I mentioned previously, if you have 20 athletes and you're one of the lucky ones getting $350 per month per athlete, that'll cap you out right at around $7,000 per month. Now, let's say you transitioned all of your in-person athletes to this hybrid model and you charged $500 per month. You would take your business from $7,000 per month to $10,000 per month. But the benefit of the hybrid model is now we can add more athletes to our roster. So let's say we just added another 10 athletes to our roster at $500 per month. We've now taken our business from $7,000 per month to $15,000 per month without actually adding any more in-person sessions, and we're delivering more value to our athletes, meaning that we're gonna get better results, more referrals, and clients are gonna stay with you longer. So the hybrid coaching model is pretty simple, but I wanna warn you that it's not easy, and that if you've never done it before, it can be very, very challenging. So let me break down a simple process that you can follow if you wanna start implementing the hybrid coaching model into your business today. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is identify who on your roster right now is the most likely to benefit from more coaching. The reason why we wanna target one specific athlete is because if you're watching this video right now, let's be honest, you have no idea what you're doing. So what we wanna do is get an athlete that's going to be honest with us and really provide us with the objective feedback to develop a really good program. So once you have that athlete, step number 2 is you're gonna actually develop a program around that athlete. You can use a online coaching software such as the Connect platform, Trainerize, School. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the software that you pick is going to assist you, but no software will be perfect. And for all of our clients, what we teach is to actually use Google Sheets, because that's how little the software actually matters. The third step, once we've actually developed the daily program for that one athlete, is to train the athlete and prove that it works. Because just like you sitting here right now thinking, I'm not sure if the hybrid coaching model works, your athletes are thinking the exact same thing. And so you're gonna need to prove that it works first, and then once you've actually helped this one athlete get the result that they're looking for, you can take those results and then present it to the rest of your in-person roster and actually make them an offer for a much higher price point than maybe you charge the first athlete. So as you can see, it is going to take you time, it's going to take effort, but if you commit to the process, this will absolutely change your business and your entire life. So once this is set up and rolling, what can you actually charge? So as we stated earlier, once you have an actual hybrid program that is proven with results, you can charge anywhere from $400 to, we actually even have coaches charging upwards of $900 per month for their hybrid programs. Callie has actually been coaching softball for the last 20 years and has never really cracked more than $6,000 to $7,000 per month, and it was incredibly inconsistent. And after just a few months after implementing the hybrid coaching model, just last month, Callie hit her first $15,000 month and charging $900 per month for her top level athlete. So you might be wondering how you can actually push your athletes into this model. And what I've seen with my coaches is that trying to sell the hybrid program strictly through text or email never works. The reason why is because the parents and the athletes typically don't know the entire value. And so what you want to do is get them either in a consultation in person or on a Zoom call where you can walk them through step by step how the hybrid model is actually going to change their life as well as their athletes' lives. Take Carl, for example, one of our clients. After just 90 days of following this blueprint, he added, and you're not going to believe me when I say this, but an extra $75,000 to his coaching business by adding the hybrid model. Coaches like Callie and Carl, who have absolutely killed it with the hybrid model, are not only making more money, but they're finally taking control over their own schedule. Carl, for example, is now able to travel the country and watch his kid play baseball as he grows up. And Callie is able to spend more time with her family and be more supportive for everybody in it. So while yes, they're making way more money than they used to, they also have more time freedom to be able to travel and support their family and do the things that are most important to them, because at the end of the day, that's really what they wanted in the first place. Look, I know this might seem like a lot, but I've helped over 200 sports coaches build out this exact model for their own business. And I've seen insane success stories like Carl and Callie, where they've implemented the hybrid model and doubled, triple, or even quadrupled their business. So I want to invite you to be a part of this. Click the link in the description to see if you're a good fit to work with us and implement this into your business. I'll see you in the next video.